The segment wasn't hyped, teased, or even announced. It happened mid-show, tucked between two matches, but it immediately trended across social media. Cameras caught Solo entering the backstage hallway, expression unreadable, hands wrapped like he was ready for a fight. Jimmy was already there, sitting on a production crate, taping his wrist, preparing for his next segment. When Solo stopped in front of him, the energy changed instantly. The tension wasn't the kind that builds from scripted rivalries. It felt real, rooted in weeks of unspoken frustration. WWE's camera work sold the moment. No dramatic lighting, no background music, just the sound of footsteps, silence, and Solo's piercing stare. That's what made this confrontation so powerful. It didn't need words. It didn't need action. It was a message. To fully grasp this moment, we need to rewind and understand what led here. Since Roman Reigns' absence, Solo Sikoa has been positioned as the silent enforcer, the man holding together the remnants of the bloodline. Jimmy, on the other hand, has been unpredictable. He's shown flashes of loyalty and independence, sometimes in the same night. This inconsistency has put both men on edge. Solo's loyalty to Roman is absolute. Jimmy's loyalty depends on circumstance. And that's exactly why Solo's decision to confront him backstage, in private, not on live TV, carries so much meaning. It wasn't about public embarrassment. It was about respect, order, and hierarchy. Solo's stare told the story. You're either with us or you're not. Solo Sikoa isn't loud. He doesn't cut long promos or chase spotlights. He uses silence as his weapon. That silence forces his opponents, and even his own family, to question themselves. Jimmy Uso, usually confident and quick-talking, looked caught off guard. For once, the talker had nothing to say. That's the power of Solo's presence. It flips the dynamic, making others uncomfortable just by standing there. This wasn't an act of intimidation. It was a test. Solo wanted to see how Jimmy would react under pressure, not in the ring, but in a real, human moment backstage. WWE has slowly been changing how it presents the bloodline. Instead of grand speeches or chaotic endings, the focus has shifted toward realism, facial expressions, silence, and timing. This confrontation was a prime example. It didn't need Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, or even commentary. It needed tension, and that's exactly what it delivered. By filming it like a real backstage encounter, WWE blurred the line between fiction and reality. It felt like something unscripted, which is why it connected with fans. Fightium viewers know the strongest WWE moments are the ones that feel real, even when they're not. Solo's motives aren't about personal glory. He's not chasing titles or main events. He's maintaining the bloodline structure. When Jimmy's behavior becomes inconsistent, aligning with someone one week, turning against them the next, Solo sees that as a threat to the family's stability. And Solo has always been Roman's protector. His eyes and ears when the tribal chief isn't present. So this confrontation wasn't spontaneous. It was likely ordered. Roman Reigns might not be on Raw physically, but Solo's presence ensures his influence remains. In a way, this confrontation was Roman's silent message delivered through Solo's actions. Jimmy Uso has been walking a fine line for months. He wants to be respected as his own man, but the shadow of the bloodline never leaves him. His recent behavior, trying to regain momentum, seeking tag opportunities, and balancing independence with loyalty, shows confusion. So when Solo confronted him, it symbolized the internal struggle Jimmy's been living through. Does he realign with family to survive, or stay independent and risk being isolated? Jimmy didn't respond during the segment, and that silence spoke volumes. Sometimes not answering is the answer. Even though Heyman didn't appear in the confrontation, his presence looms large. Fans noticed that when Solo walked into the hallway. He was glancing down at his phone moments before seeing Jimmy. Small detail, but WWE rarely adds such details by accident. It suggests Heyman might have been texting Solo, possibly delivering instructions from Roman. Heyman's role has always been to manage communication within the bloodline. If Solo confronted Jimmy, it could have been triggered by a conversation with Heyman moments earlier. This adds another layer. The idea that Heyman and Roman are still controlling things remotely, using Solo as their instrument. Immediately after the segment aired, social media exploded. Hashtag Solo Sikoa and hashtag Jimmy Uso both trended on X, Twitter. Fans praised the realism of the segment, noting that it felt unscripted, raw, and tense. Many commented that this is the kind of storytelling WWE needs more of, segments that build character depth without spelling everything out. Fightium has often emphasized this. Real storytelling in wrestling isn't about who wins a match, but about who controls the moment. And tonight, Solo controlled the moment completely. The confrontation hinted at a major internal power shift. For the first time since Roman stepped away, Solo isn't acting as a subordinate. He's operating as an enforcer with authority. Jimmy, who once called himself the right-hand man, now finds himself on the defensive. That dynamic reversal shows how the hierarchy inside the Bloodline is changing. If Solo is stepping up, it means WWE is preparing fans for his leadership potential, either as Roman's future successor or as the one who enforces loyalty until Roman returns. Either way, it means trouble for Jimmy Uso. From a technical standpoint, this segment was crafted for realism. No lighting tricks, no soundtrack, just two performers and a camera. That choice is deliberate. By shooting it in a natural backstage setting, WWE sends the message that this is behind-the-scenes reality, not part of a storyline skit. Even the camera angle, slightly handheld, at eye level, mimicked how a documentary crew would capture a real-life confrontation. This approach mirrors what Fightium often points out: modern WWE's best moments are grounded, quiet, and authentic. Underneath the surface tension, there's emotion. Solo isn't angry, he's disappointed. Jimmy isn't scared, he's conflicted. That distinction matters. This isn't a feud between enemies. It's family trying to manage loyalty and trust. Solo's glare said, "You're making it harder for me to protect what's left of us." And Jimmy's silence said, "I know, but I can't go back." WWE doesn't have to script those lines, fans can feel them. Segments like this succeed because they serve multiple purposes. They progress the story without rushing. They add depth to both characters. They set up future interactions without forcing them. By keeping it short and ambiguous, WWE lets fans interpret the meaning, and that drives engagement. Within hours, fans were already speculating: is Solo turning on Jimmy soon? Is Roman returning to handle things personally? Is Jimmy being tested for loyalty? All of those theories exist because the segment gave space for imagination, and that's good storytelling. Based on the pattern of WWE booking, here's what could realistically happen next: Solo's presence ringside. He might appear during Jimmy's match next week, not to interfere, but to observe, silently assessing him. Heyman's reaction. Expect a subtle promo or backstage mention where Heyman acknowledges that Roman is watching everything. Jimmy's response. Instead of addressing Solo directly, Jimmy may cut a brief promo reflecting on loyalty, testing fan reactions before WWE commits to a new direction. Future feud setup. Depending on crowd response, this could evolve into a slow burn tension leading to Solo versus Jimmy at a premium live event. Each of these steps keeps the story grounded while maintaining long-term intrigue. Another key takeaway: Solo Sikoa is slowly becoming a standalone figure. The more segments he does like this, the less he needs Roman or Heyman physically present. That's crucial for his evolution. Solo is being built as the next cold, stoic powerhouse, the kind of character WWE can center around when Roman transitions to part-time status. Tonight's confrontation wasn't about Jimmy. It was about Solo establishing dominance. He's no longer the silent enforcer. He's becoming the authority. For Jimmy, this confrontation forces reflection. He's been searching for identity since Jay walked away from the Bloodline. Now, with Solo confronting him, Jimmy's caught between redemption and rebellion. If he doubles down on independence, he risks isolation. If he aligns again, he sacrifices pride. This tension is what WWE thrives on, because both outcomes make sense. And that unpredictability keeps fans invested. Everything in the Bloodline universe still revolves around Roman Reigns, even when he's not there. Every word spoken, every glance shared, every segment filmed feels like it's happening under Roman's invisible shadow. This confrontation between Solo and Jimmy felt like a ripple effect of Roman's leadership. It shows that his presence doesn't have to be physical, it's psychological. That's long-term storytelling at its finest. Fans have been vocal about Solo's recent growth. When he first debuted, he was seen as the quiet muscle. Now, he's seen as a threat, both physically and strategically. This segment added credibility to that perception. He didn't need to fight or shout. His aura did the work. It's the kind of moment that transitions a supporting player into a main event ready act. This confrontation represents WWE's new philosophy: believable tension, natural pacing, cinematic realism. Segments like these blur the line between entertainment and authenticity, and fans respond more strongly to realism than to scripted melodrama. Fightium has always emphasized that the modern audience craves truth within fiction. Solo and Jimmy delivered exactly that. If WWE continues this trajectory, we could be heading toward three possible outcomes. Solo replaces Roman as enforcer leader, a quiet power shift, with Solo taking operational control. Jimmy rebels, completely setting up a confrontation that tests family over loyalty. Roman returns to restore order, re-establishing dominance, and resetting hierarchy heading into WrestleMania season. Whichever direction WWE chooses, tonight's confrontation will be remembered as the spark that reignited Bloodline tension.